G-Sauce, Gavin here. So I've been playing Labyrinth for the past couple weeks. There's just been a slew of regionals and case events in my area, and I just decided, you know what, I really like this deck. There's a lot of other decks that do things kind of like it, but this one's unique in a sense where if you give it a turn to set up, if you just play better than your opponent, 99% of the time you just win, which usually in Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't get. Like, it's very skill based. At first, I was losing with this deck a lot, and I'm like, man, this deck feels really bad. Maybe like the deck's bad. And the more I played it, I'm like, no, this deck just kind of has a higher like skill curve than other ones. So I'm gonna kind of get into my reasonings for why I wanted to play some of these things, and let's get into it. First are the ladies. We have one lovely Labyrinth and one lady Labyrinth. These two are very, very good and very good in different matchups as well. Being able to recycle your traps and being able to search them from the deck is very, very broken. Next, we have Ariana. Ariana being able to search is very, very nice. Just being able to search a Labyrinth card is very, very good. And we're playing the furniture build, so that means that we're able just to go through all of our pieces. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Next, we have Stovey Torby, triple Chandragolier, and I'm playing triple Kuklok. These are actually all of my Labyrinth monsters. I'll get into why in a bit, but Stovey Torby being able to summon back and being a 2 for Chaos Angel is very good. Chandragolier coming back for card advantage. Being able to set up this loop is very nice. And Kuklok, you want to play 3 of it just so you can have an interruption on the opponent's turn, and being able to see it is very, very nice. It always gets you into rotation for you to always have your traps alive, and being able to turn on your power traps on the opponent's turn is also very, very nice. You can see that we're not playing Arias. I think Arias is a trap. Like, what it does is that you see it's a secret rare, and you see that it says activate a trap from your hand, and it's broken, right? But you have to see it and specific cards for it to work, and it doesn't do anything the deck already didn't have. Like, it doesn't fix any problems with the deck. The only thing that it fixes, that's a 6, and Ariana's a 4. And I guess that's nice, but like, we're playing transaction rollback. And the thing is, like, you want more cards you can pitch. So I guess Arias is good because it can always get back in rotation, but then no, it's not, because they can't use monster effects to interact with your traps when you're already winning. So if anything, it's more of a win more card. It just doesn't work in the deck the way you think it should. Like, it's very, very good. It turns your traps into hand traps, but you have to see it with it, or else it's a kind of a bad card. I was playing the Joshua Schmidt version, where I was playing 2 and 2. I thought that was okay, but then you get into the trap where it's like, oh, when I'm seeing this card in my hand, I'm just losing. I think these are the ratios that make sure you don't lose. The only one that I was considering is cutting this down to 1, but sometimes just having the extra one in your deck is very, very nice. So yeah, that's all of our labs. Next is going to be the package I am playing, and that is the one of Shavara and the one of Escape of the Unchained. The Unchained package in this deck is insane. Just being able to get all the bodies on the board, being able to go into Yama, and basically Unchained Abomination is the best Unchained card in this deck. Being able to just pop random shit, being able to pop your rollback, being able to pop opponent's cards, it's very, very sweet. It just gives you utility. It helps you play around evenly matched. It helps you play around Lightning Storm. It helps you play around so much. If you do the full Unchained combo, you are the best combo deck in the format. Next, we have hand traps. This ratio I don't think is correct, and I'll tell you why. Triple Ash, triple Imperm, and 2 Nib. So here's the argument. This deck is at 42 cards. You're fine with that because you actually kind of play some soft bricks. So you're okay with playing over 40. So at that point, you can cut the 2 Nibs. You don't have to. Nib has just been underwhelming. At certain events, it's really good. At certain events, it's really bad. It's like the highest, like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a very big variance card. But you can pitch it with your furniture, so it is nicer to see. This can be something else. This could be triple Nib when it comes down to it. It doesn't really matter. I just don't think 2 of this was correct. It's either 3 of another hand trap or 3 of this. Should have bumped it up for the profile, but I'm just going to show you what I played. This was fine, though. This was really, really good. Being able to reset this off of ladies, very nice. Ash Blossom just having very good coverage. We can't play this in a week, but it's fine. Just replace it with something else. So we're going into the spells. I play a lot more spells in this version than most people do. I play one Labyrinth. You kind of have to play this. I see people cutting it, but it's just so good. Then we have triple Pot of Prosperity and triple Pot of Extravagance. The theory behind this was that in testing, I noticed that the games where I saw a pot, I was winning. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to max out on my pots. Since I'm playing a heavier extra deck, it kind of gets a little weird, but it really doesn't matter because most of the games you don't go into the Unchained package anyway. This is just nice. This feels insane. I wouldn't change this. This is correct. I will argue anybody on it. I was playing Prosperity as Crossout, but I moved Crossout to the side because I think Prosperity is just good. It's better post side, and it's really good game one because you can see what you want, where Crossout is only really good going first. And then we have the one Called by the Grave. I just feel like we need this card. It's really good against Fire King. It's really good against a lot of matchups, and Ash kind of FTKs you sometimes, so you need to have this in your list. And that is all of the spells. Next are the traps, and we're playing triple Big Welcome Labyrinth and double Welcome Labyrinth. A lot of people ask me, hey, which one do I Ash? And the answer is both of them, because if I have one, there's a chance I might have the second, and if I have Lady on board, you can't Ash it. So the answer is just hit one. Getting this card into rotation is really good. It's a really good pitch. Same thing as Welcome Labyrinth. Welcome Labyrinth being able to reset itself is just very nice. Both of them having graveyard utility is very nice, with this being a bounce and this just being able to reset itself. Very good cards. I'm a big fan. And then I have the two consistency cards of Transaction Rollback. This card's weird. A lot of people like to play this card at 3, and I can see an argument for it being at 3. But the issue is with the games I was losing were the games I had multiples of this, or the games where I had this but no way to get it to grave. This card is actually a brick. This actually has an argument of being in the same trap as Aureus. But the difference is that this card does something. This helps you play around the Ash. This helps you play around the Bell. This actually helps you put up lethal when you don't have lethal. This card is actually fantastic in this deck. The issue is that it's not good if you just draw it. It has to be drawn and sent to grave. Or that's why like Shavara is really good in this, because you can just set it and pop it, or you can Abomination pop it. You can always get it to grave, but there's some hands, because we're inherently a trap deck, where we just don't see a play. And you have to see this with access to this. It just can't be in grave. So it's weird. This card is very weird. It's very good, but you're not going to win every game you see it like people are trying to sell it to be. However, what it is broken with is Overroot and Karma Cannon. So the first couple events I took this deck to, I was playing IDP. IDP was bad. So then I played Terrors of the Overroot because it kind of does the same thing as IDP, but can affect all cards. This card was very good one event, but then the event I played yesterday was very bad. The card that was good in all events was DDK. This is just the best card in testing. If it comes down to it, if you don't like the 42, you can just cut like one of these. Go 41, or just mess around the ratios of all the other things. But this has to be in the list somewhere. There's an argument to take it out, like and play no traps like these, and just play like straight Labyrinth, because the Labyrinth engine by itself can put up so much. But having like searchable auto wins in many matchups is very nice. And yeah, these cards are pretty good. This card's fantastic against Fire King. This card's just fantastic against any Link deck, and super good against Cash, which has been very prevalent. That is the main deck. It's 42. Next, we're going to go into the side, an extra, and I'll show you the extra first. Alrighty, so I have triple Yama, double Rage, Anguish, and Abomination. These are fantastic. Yama just being able to always get you into any of these back. Or another thing is that Yama just says special back a Fiend. It doesn't say which one. So you can always get back into the Labyrinth package. You can always get back into the... you can get back into Typhon. That actually came up. I misplayed round 1 yesterday. And it was like one of the first times I had like a super noticeable misplay. Because a lot of times in this deck, you just kind of lose because you get like outpaced like early on, which is fine. Or they have Ash and Bell, which is fine. You can't help that, right? Like that is something that you can't really help except through deck building. But I had a noticeable misplay where I didn't realize this just brought back a Fiend. So I could have just brought back Typhon against, what's the deck called? Branded. And that would have been fine. This card is really good. Being able to grab back Shavara is good. This card hasn't really come up, but you need it just in case. Like in testing, there have been times I go into this package, going second, and then break through a board and go into this. Yeah, this package just... I would not cut it. I've seen people try to argue with me that this stuff's not good. I can't get behind that. This shit is broken. One Anima, triple Muckraker. We just have so much space. These can be legitimately like another package. Like you don't have to play 3 of this. I just don't like banishing it off of the extravagances or off of the prosperities. Like off of prosperity, I'll move like 1 or 2. But you need multiples. This card is fantastic. I don't think I'd change it. If I had like more Chaos Angels or more Typhons, I'd get it, but I think this is fine. Then we have 1 Dark Charmer, 1 Nightmare Unicorn. One thing about this list, I will say it now, I do not own SPs. I do not own a Chaos Angel. I've been borrowing them. I don't think SP is as necessary in this deck as it is in others. Even though we're playing the Unchained package, it just doesn't come up like you think it would. It's another layer of interruption for when you do the Unchained board. But in testing, it does just not come up. So if you don't feel like spending the $200 for like everything, like those 2 cards, you don't have to. But like, it is correct. It is correct to own them, but if you don't have them, it's fine. You can play cards like Unicorn. Unicorn is also very good because you can get Fiend locked off of Welcome, and you can just go into this. So sometimes just it's better to have. And then we have the 1 Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel, again, hasn't been coming up as much in testing as I thought it would. Like, I've been proxying it, I've been playing it. It just won't come up. It's just sometimes nice to have it. The combo with this and Muckraker, though, is too good to ignore. And I will just be honest with you guys, you kind of need that sometimes. And having Chaos Angel with the field spell is really nice because you can just bring it back. But if we're cutting the other traps and just playing the lab stuff, you're not always going to get the Reborn. So the argument is there. You do need this, though. And Typhon. Typhon is arguably the best card in the extra deck. It's super good in this deck. It's a Fiend. You can always bring it back. This card is nuts specifically in lab. That's 15. Now to go into the side. Triple Droll and Lockbird. Part of me feels like I should have mained this yesterday. There were a lot of times where if I just had this, I was fine. Droll was bad. But then there was like, well, Nib was bad, Droll was good. And then there was against a lot of people where like, no, Nib was better. Nib was a really good card for the first couple events. I kind of want to keep toying with the ratio. I feel like next format, I kind of want to main this. And it is what it is. Double Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell was really good. And I specifically play this because I play Cross-Out Designator. Cross-Out Designator has been one of the best cards on the list. I was a hater. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. But specifically in the lab, there's a lot of decks where you can play around stuff. And having Cross-Out Designator in decks where you can play around them feels bad. Because then you're just playing 3 cards where if you were just better at the game, you wouldn't need it. The lab is one of the only decks where you just get Doughied on by silver bullets, and this helps you play around it. So this is really fine. This card was fantastic. 1 Harpies. You can side it in with this, but I like to do it because I'm a combo deck and I want to get rid of my opponent's back row. There's just certain like back row that you just kind of want to get out of the way. Triple evenly matched. This card is disgusting. This card is fantastic. A lot of the times I just resolve this and it feels insane. There's only against 1 matchup where I felt like this was like really bad. Like I played against Flu yesterday and they just kind of played around it. I shouldn't have sided it in though. That's more of my mistake. But you know, when you get shifted, you get shifted. You can't help that. And then we're playing the 3 one-of traps, which I decided to be Eradicator, Dim Barrier, and DDG. Through everything, these aren't as good as I thought they would be. I thought Eradicator was going to be really nice. Eradicator was nice. Eradicator won me some matches. So I can't say much about this. I kind of want to keep playing this. DDG was insane, but a lot of people are, if they can't play the Fire King stuff, are going to play the Shifter decks. And this does nothing. This card is kind of poo-poo garbo. It's fantastic against Fire King, but poo-poo garbo against everything else. And then Dim Barrier just hasn't been coming up. You just kind of need it because like a lot of people are switching to decks like Branded. People are switching to decks like Pearly. Just like random like Saku decks. It's fine. The card's fine. It just never feels like it come up as much as they should in those matchups. Like I feel like in those matchups I'm kind of winning them anyway. But yeah, that's the list. I have more thoughts on Lab, but I think I'm going to make another video on that because I can talk for like 30 minutes on like all the goods and bads in this deck. But this was my Labyrinth deck. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up in the comments. I'll probably respond to them. I'm going to be making another video on why I decided to play Labyrinth and what drove me to play him for all these events. And give you like my thoughts and reasonings better in there. But yeah, have a great day.